Hey, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, you're watching the original Rebels Racing League.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Hall Sheet Metal 125. The Late Night Rebels head to the virtual Martinsville, the world famous half-mile short track at the original Rebel Racing League. As always, I'm James East in the booth, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second, as we get ready to head out for single car qualifying. Guaranteed to be another great night. And it is going to be quite the exciting evening here at Martinsville. As right now, Josh Oswald, number 17 Chevrolet, makes his way out for qualifying. Martinsville, one of those tricky racetracks where any single mistake can quickly turn this place into a parking lot. Just over half a mile here on the race circuit here today. As we watched practice, and it was quite the exciting event. It's one of those tracks you have to really trust the guys in front and behind you. If somebody goes in a little bit too deep, or if somebody gets on the brakes a little bit too early, it can quickly spell calamity, as Josh Oswald clicks off a 19.74 as his best so far. Let's check out Bill Stringfellow, the number 38 machine, the Chevrolet, see what he's able to do on track. As always, thank you to Hall Sheet Metal for sponsoring today's activity. Always a great time having them here supporting the race. And as always as well, thank you to you at home, those that tune in each and every week supporting your favorite drivers at their favorite late night series. I'm not quite sure what we're going to see here tonight, as let's see what Stringfellow is able to put down on the board. He clicks off a 19.69. His opening lap puts him for second in qualifying as the second fastest race car on track, following Clint Rice in number 42 machine. Let's see if Stringfellow can best that best time. Has a bit of a wiggle coming out of 4, might lose some drive there, unable to best his previous lap time. Jason Warren's out on track, the number 32 Toyota Camry. Let's see what he can do his first time by. But right now, it's Rice on top of a provisional pole with Stringfellow, Rockefeller, Oswald, and Paisley in tow. Warren is going to have one lap, and that's about it. Let's see what Josh Thompson can do, number 33 machine. His Chevrolet leaving the pit lane, going out on track for his first time lap. Will anybody be able to best Clint Rice with that 19.63? Rice has been very, very quick. Seems to be at home here on the short tracks. It's going to be interesting to see how many drivers unable to put down qualifying, having to send it just a little bit too hard. Thompson with a 19.85, his first time by, needs to find about 2 more tenths here to put himself on top of pole. About a minute and a half left in qualifying for this single car qualifying. Let's see what Joshua Thompson can do his second time lap. He is unable to best his previous of a 19.85, clicking off a 20.08 that last time by. We still have a whole lot of drivers that have not put down qualifying times so far. $16 drivers have put down lap times so far. Still waiting on the remaining to come in and put down their laps. But this is going to be quite the exciting one here at Martinsville to see what drivers are able to do. Some drivers still out there, such as Jason Warren, getting past his qualifying laps. We saw him have that big incident, but staying out there, trying to get as much seat time as he possibly can. With those drivers that are showing up here cold board, not able to get as much practice as they wanted, every lap they can get out here is going to be very, very beneficial. Now, I myself have ran some of the iRacing official NIS races here before, and it was a bit of a tough one, is a great way to describe it. But Michael Morrison's going to go out on track. I don't think he's going to get any lap times put down, as it's only got about 10 seconds left in qualifying. And he will not get a qualifying time. So 16 drivers putting down qualifying times. out of 27 drivers registered for tonight. And let's get ready to take it through tonight's grid. Starting up front, Clint Rice, the number 42 machine. Bill Stringfellow starting second on the grid, number 38. Jason Rockefeller on the 09. He's starting third tonight. Josh Oswald in the fourth place spot on the grid in the number 17 machine. Jeff Paisley with Arcadia Motorsports starting fifth in his number 7 race car. Dakota Camper in the number 3 will be starting sixth on the grid. Isaac Wilson starting seventh. Then you've got Joshua Thompson starting 8th, the number 33 machine. Kai Shappert with Shappy Edits in the number 43 starting 9th. Brett Redder, Arcadia Motorsports starting 10th, and the number 97 machine. Steve Loving in the 11, the number 27, he'll be starting 11th on the grid. Charlie Gates Jr., the number 55, he'll be starting 12th. We've got Peyton Johnson, number 15 machine, starting 13th. John Dunn in the number 11, starting 14th. James Jones in the number 1 machine, starting 15th. William Griffith in the number 12 with Reaper Racing. He'll be starting 16th. Jason Warren in the number 32. He'll be starting 17th on the grid. Jamie Dobbs starting 18th. Alan Wernicke starting 19th. Garrett Kinder starting 20th. Michael Morrison in the number 21 machine will be starting 21st, aptly put on the grid. Jason Lottridge, number 48, starting 22nd. Kyle Roberts, number 35, starting 23rd. Then you've got Justin Wilkins in the number 19 machine starting 24th. Cycle back one more time. You got Joey Doucette, the number 9, starting 25th. Ryan Williams in the 8, starting 26th. And then Joseph E. Johnson, the 05 machine. We'll round out tonight's grid as we get ready to send them out following our iRacing pace car. What's going to happen here at Martinsville? Who is going to survive? This is where the jokes about that's short track racing come into play. Later on the run, you can expect to see some bump and runs come into play, but hopefully not too early on into the night, as this is going to be quite the stacked field. We're going to lead them around one more time. We're going to let that green flag drop and get the party started. Pace car is in. It's Rice and Stringfellow on the front row here today. And away they go for the Hall Sheet Metal 125. Who's going to survive Martinsville, the grueling half mile? Rice gets a strong start. Stringfellow is going to stay in tow. Behind him, a massive swarm of drivers. Look at that. Jason Rockefeller in third, doing a great job trying to get up there early on. Oh, and Stringfellow starting to use the bumper early on against Clint Rice, trying to get the number 42 machine, your race leader and pole setter, just a little bit unsettled. And a great overhead shot sponsored by Hall Sheet Metal, as it looks like the most of the field's breaking down single file, not having any big issues here. Everybody doing a good job keeping it pretty clean. There's the number 3 machine, Dakota Camper, looking at the inside of Kai Shappert. On board Dakota. It is such a tricky game of putting down the most amount of power as quick as you can here at Martinsville, but not wanting to have those rear tires break free in these high horsepower race machines. Jason Rockefeller put down the fastest lap of the race in the 09, but he's going to have Jeff Paisley and Josh Oswald all around him trying to make a move. Rockefeller's down one spot, currently 4th on track. As up front, it's Clint Rice and Bill Stringfellow getting a little bit of a gap to breathe. They've got about a 1.2 second advantage over third place, Josh Oswald. But so far, everybody doing a great job out here today, keeping it clean and green and pointing in the right direction. As you hear Stringfellow babying that throttle, trying to keep it pointing in the right direction, not making any mistakes. He's falling behind Clint Rice. Rice has about a 0.8 second advantage over number 38 of Stringfellow. Jeff Paisley, number 7, he's fending off Isaac Wilson. Paisley currently in 5th. Wilson is up 1 spot so far here tonight into 6th place. This is a track that is very, very difficult to make any passes when your opponents are running such a clean race. Now, it is a long race for these guys, 125 laps. So just over 60 miles, which isn't crazy long as far as race distance goes, but this is a track that's going to demand your attention all the way around. If you find yourself coming into a corner too hot, that's going to allow the car right behind you to poke their nose on the inside line and maybe make something happen. Oh, and the caution will come out. Kai Shepard involved. A lot of people involved. So keep an eye on Shepard, number 43 machine. Let's see what happens here. Might just get loose all by his lonesome. He does. He lights up the rear tires. Number 43 machine sends it sliding around. And this is where it's about to get quite exciting. Oh no, there's a separate crash behind him. And just like that, the track's completely blocked. That's the 43 of Shepard, the number 35 of Roberts. I believe it was just 2 separate incidents out on track. As the field checks up, a good job not ARCA braking into everybody. We've got something going on with our overlays here. Well, we managed to break something up here in the live timing and scoring tower. And it does not want to go live for some reason. No worries, we'll get this fixed here in a second. All right, we're back in the action. It's going to be Rice and Stringfellow starting up front as we bring out the caution for the first time here today. And away they go with Rice and Stringfellow out front. Looks like it's going to be Oswald, number 17 machine, trying to get the inside of Jason Rockefeller. A whole lot of racing going on across this track. Everybody doing a good job keeping it pretty clean so far. Rockefeller's going to fall back into 4th once more. This is one of those tracks, the restart's so important, trying to hold on to that track position all the way around. Now, this is one of those series that's really coming to its own as the year progressed. The drivers getting cleaner and cleaner, getting a little bit more comfortable with each other and what they can get away with out there on track. So it's been really enjoyable to watch how much faster some of these competitors have been all season long, and always putting on a great show each and every week. As we're currently watching Jason Rockefeller in the 09 machine trying to catch up to Josh Oswald in front of him in number 17, but Rockefeller, he's got a whole lot of company with Jeff Paisley, number 7. Everybody in this top 5 so familiar with each other, driving every week, several series for the original Rebel Racing League. They run multiple series throughout the week, so a lot of these guys run 2, 3, 4, 5 events a week with the same group of drivers. Really allows you to work on who you can trust, who you can push hard with. But this is very much a solo driver track. Not a whole lot of team play or drafting battles going to be coming into play. It is all about who can hold on the fastest, the longest, and keep that race machine pointed in the right direction. Keep that right rear tire underneath you all the way around. As we will have another caution. Looks like it's going to be Charlie Gates Jr. involved in an incident. Gates, the number 55 machine. He's the black and white car. Well, let's see what happens going into turn 1. May have had to get on the brakes a little bit harder. And just like we said, he gets a little bit of a love tap from behind. And that's enough to send him careening around. That was the number 21, I believe is the 21, of Michael Morrison just getting into him. And that's what we talked about that early in the broadcast. It just takes the car in front of you checking up a little bit harder than you expected. And you can find yourself getting that healthy little tail tap and send yourself being spun around here at Martinsville. So we're going to get them re-racked. I guess one fortunate thing for our competitors is the caution laps go by quickly. As Barney, our flag man, waving the standing yellow, the full course caution. As we get everybody formed back up, get ready for the pace car to come in and send them back out. And quite the field here today. 23 drivers have started tonight. 23 drivers still on track. We had 4 DNSs. The pace car is in though. Rice has been out front and strong, and he does have that inside line advantage. As it seems he who owns the inside owns the racetrack. As look at that, here comes Josh Oswald up the inside line, number 17 machine, trying to get around Bill Stringfellow and take over second place. We're going to go side by side into turn 3. Jason Rockefeller, he also wants in the mix in the 09 machine. Stringfellow's going to do everything in his ability to get back on that inside line. Rockefeller drops up behind him. It looks like Oswald should be able to secure second place, but it's so hard to carry speed out of turns 2 and turn 4 when you're kind of pinched on that inside line. But Oswald able to make it happen. Bill Stringfellow now in third. Jason Rockefeller fourth. Jeff Paisley rounds out our top 5. As the caution comes out again, William Griffith, Brett Redder, Jason Lottridge, Joshua Thompson Kai Shappert, Jamie Dobbs, all involved. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. We're watching William Griffith, the bright yellow number 12. Let's see what happens here. The field kind of stacks up here in front of him. Oh, no, that was the number 97, Brett Redder. He initiates the crash. And look at that. That is a crash and a half. 5, 6, 7 race cars involved. Everybody tries to get it pointed back in the right direction, but that was a good one. We're gonna re-rack, send them back out. It's gonna be once again Rice and now Oswald on the front row. Oswald has the advantage where he's been starting on the inside the last couple of restarts, able to get some good, strong positions early off. But we know how hard it is to hold on to that outside line. Here we go. Oswald still on the outside, trying to make something happen against Clint Rice behind him. Bill Stringfellow, the number 38 machine, he wants back in the mix. Stringfellow started off second. He wants to get back out there as quick as he can. Behind Stringfellow, you've got Steve Lovin and Jason Rockefeller, your top 5. As you were on board with Oswald, watching him trying to catch up to number 42, Clint Rice. Still a whole lot of laps left in tonight's event, so no issue for these guys needing to try and push too hard too early on. And again, these drivers do have one fast repair, but only one set of tires, and they may have to use it early on as the caution comes out once more. It's going to be James Jones in the number 1 machine. Let's see what happens here. He's right behind the number 93 machine of Isaac Wilson and just kind of sends it sliding around, able to get it locked up, hopefully in time. As the field behind him scatters, a little bit of contact to the rest of the field trying to avoid Jones, but as far as crashes go here at Martinsville, that could have been way, way worse. So well done having the tenacity and the forethought to lock up those brakes. And that will be our 4th caution of the night. Now at this point, they may not have to worry too much about fuel as most of the laps have been done under caution. I think track position is going to be worth more than anything at this point in the race. Just trying to stay out front and maybe avoid the carnage. Pace car will be making its way in this time by. It's going to be Rice and Oswald out front once more. It seems that inside line is where you want to be for restarts, as now Stringfellow will be on the inside of number 38 machine. Pace car is in. And Oswald hard on the gas behind Clint Rice. Stringfellow is going to make a move up to the inside going into turn 1. Rice is going to get pushed wide. Oswald's going to get pushed wide. Stringfellow takes over the 2nd place spot, and the caution is going to come out once again, as now I believe it's going to be Isaac Wilson going for a ride. Isaac Wilson, the number 93 machine. He's on the kind of in the middle of the track here, just now crossing start-finish line. Let's see what happens going into turn 1. And it looked like the number 13 of Kinder was trying to nose up in there and maybe not able to quite make it happen like he had planned. A few drivers taking just a little bit more damage there. So we're going to get him re-racked for the 5th caution here of the night here at Martinsville. Now, most of the field still has not had to come into pit lane for damage to get repaired or any other issues. So that's good news, because once you start getting more cars out on track with varying tire sets and damage states in their car, you get much different speeds, and that can really compound the issue. So Rice and Stringfellow getting a whole lot of practice with their launches here tonight. Now Josh Oswald will be starting the inside as well, so let's see what happens here. Pace car is in. We've seen that 3rd position able to make some moves early on here today. As man, Rice gets a healthy launch. Stringfellow falls in tow. Oswald still holding on to 3rd place, not able to get up to the inside as quickly as Stringfellow as he had planned. Going into turn 3. These guys doing a good job so far, but no, we spoke too soon. The caution comes out. And let's see if we can find out where that one was. So we're watching Peyton Johnson here, the number 8 machine. I'm not sure if he's involved or not. No, it's further back. Not quite sure why the caution was thrown for that one. As there was quite a bit of smoke, but no big issues. We're going to watch Brett Redder here going into turn 1. It looked like yeah, there was some bumping and grinding, but no harm, no foul. We kept it pointing in the right direction, so truthfully not sure why the caution came out on that one. We've seen that once before where iRacing will prematurely throw that caution flag and kind of get everything bunched back up, but that'll be our 6th caution here on lap 47. We're going to get ready to send them back out. Pace car is in. Up front, it's still Rice, then now Stringfellow in the number 2 spot. Stringfellow and Oswald have been putting on quite a battle all night long. And away they go. It looks like Stringfellow's going to be able to hold on to it. As what happened here? The yellow flag comes out. We can't get a good, clean lap here. As now it's going to be Dakota Camper involved. Dakota Camper, the number 3 machine. Let's see what happens to him. Looks like Rockefeller on the top left there gets a little bit squirrely. As the number 7, I believe that's going to be Paisley, starts coming up as well. Let's see what happens here. Ooh. I guess the number 32 kind of sends it in there. Not able to quite make it stick. And Dakota Camper goes for a wild ride out into the safety barrier here at Martinsville. Kind of gets hooked into the wall and has to lock up the brakes to avoid spinning into traffic. As ahead of him, everybody tries to avoid compounding the issue. These racers are going to have quite the long night ahead of them if they cannot keep it going with any sort of momentum. We're at 7 cautions so far, 53 laps in. We're going to get them lined up behind the iRacing pace car. And get ready to send them back out there. It's once again going to be Rice and Stringfellow, your top two drivers. Here comes Steve Loving. He's up 8 spots so far here tonight. I think that's going to be lap traffic getting involved here. Clint Rice still up front, Stringfellow second, Loving third, Oswald fourth, Warren fifth. But Rockefeller making moves, and we're going to bring out the caution flag once more. As Josh Thompson and Jason Lottridge involved in an incident. Thompson, the number 33 machine. Looks like there just wasn't a whole lot of room for any of these guys to really move anywhere. And if you go 3 wide at Martinsville, you're going to have a bad time. As number 3 Thompson kind of gets hooked there. And, ooh, gets pointed all sorts of wrong direction. And they come to a stop outside the safety barrier. Now we're going to re-rack them once more. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody's coming into pit lane here. Clint Rice looks like he's going to stay out front and stay out on track. Stringfellow, Loving, Oswald, Rockefeller, your top 5, all choosing track position over everything here for the original Rebel Racing Late Night Series. Not quite to the halfway mark here tonight. As I've got to say, this looks very similar to some of the NIS Open experiences I've had here on the iRacing service. Just not able to get those good green flag runs like you would hope for. Now it's going to be interesting to see if Rice, Stringfellow, really everybody in your top 10 that has not pitted yet will be able to stay out on fuel at this point, not able to get any good green flag runs. Gonna get ready to get them forward back up, send them back out there. They'll be double file, so one more to go until we kick it green. But man, is there gonna be some extensive bodywork repair bills after tonight, as we've seen a whole lot of race cars involved in their fair share of bumps, bruises, and all around carnage. Pace car will be in this time by Rice and Stringfellow out front. They've been getting spectacular launches all night long, getting a whole lot of practice on their restarts. And out of the 23 that started tonight, you've still got 23 on track with 22 on the lead lap. Pace car is in. We're getting ready to send them back out. Rice with a spectacular launch. Stringfellow following in tow. Steve Loving looking to that inside line against Stringfellow. Behind Stringfellow, you've got Rockefeller as well in the 09, the marble painted race car. The beautiful Spider-Man theme on the hood of it. That inside line has been very dominant as here comes Steve Lovin trying to work the inside of Stringfellow. Meanwhile, Rockefeller also trying to work the inside as well to gain a spot over the number 17, Josh Oswald. looks like, oh no, Rockefeller spins it. Able to keep it pointed the right direction. The caution will not come out. But Rockefeller with a huge hit into the inside wall. And the caution will come out for that one. As Rockefeller in the 09 locks it up once more. He might have blown up there. It looked like the smoke rapidly left the race car. Let's see if we can get a replay of that once more of Jason Rockefeller's big hit. So watch the Spider-Man painted race car. The 09 machine gets a little bit of loose coming out of 4 and absolutely drills the inside wall. A hard impact. And then let's see what happens here going into turn 4. Yeah, he let all the magic out of the 09 Spider-Man machine. And it will blow up catastrophically here on the racetrack. Clint Rice, Bill Stringfellow, they're coming into pit lane. Steve Loving, Josh Oswald, Jeff Paisley, Garrett Kinder opting to stay out here. Now this should be probably the one and only pit stop that some of these drivers are going to need, the way the short runs have not been developing. That's quite the long pit stop here, taking Rice about 30 seconds to even make it to his box. Now this is where things can get quite exciting. If you've got drivers coming out on track with a fresh set of tires and a fresh race car compared to those that have not pitted yet. Now all these drivers, again, tonight at Martinsville, they have one fast repair at their disposal. But it is a game of waiting, not having to use, or no, excuse me, not trying to use that unless you absolutely have to, as we're going to see Rockefeller take his one and only get out of jail free card after the hard hit to the front of that 09 machine. A lot of great looking race cars still out on track. So the top five's done a pretty fantastic job keeping it nice and clean this way around. We are past the halfway mark, but it has been a game of eye pacing for all of these drivers here today, just not getting the green flag runs that they wanted. We're going to send it back out. It's Loving and Oswald, your front row. We've seen Oswald get great starts all night long, but two very fast drivers, as well as Jeff Paisley, Garrett Kinder, Kai Schappert, Alan Wernicke, all in the mix here. Green flag is out, and man, look at that launch with number 27. As here comes Jeff Paisley, the number 7 machine. He's looking to the inside of Oswald. Coming out of turn 2, that inside line, the place where it makes all the passes. You have to be very mindful not to try and put the power down too much too early on, as they're going to go side by side for the battle for second. Kinder also wanting to mix the number 13 machine. Most of these drivers having a little bit of bodywork damage done so far, as Oswald just barely touches the back of Paisley. No harm, no foul. Keeping it pointed in the right direction, but the caution will come out, and it is going to once again be a massive pile up here at Martinsville. Isaac Wilson, Dakota Camper, Jamie Dobbs, William Griffith, Kyle Roberts, James Jones, Jason Rockefeller, Lotridge, Stringfellow, Redditor, all involved here. Let's see what happens. Oh, that was never going to work. Drivers going in just a little bit too deep. The number 93 machine getting absolutely punted. Nobody getting on the brakes. Everybody still on the gas, hard into the corner, and then absolute anarchy here at Martinsville, as there is cars strewn everywhere. Stringfellow heavily involved, having to take his pit stop early tonight. and just not having the race he wanted. He was one of our race leaders, coming in for his one and only planned pit stop, but now taking heavy damage with the number 38. So up front, it's going to be Steve Loving, Jeff Paisley, Kinder, Oswald, Shepard, all in our top 5 here. As Rockefeller will get the lucky dog in, come flying about. What a night of absolute carnage it has been. Very few drivers are going to leave tonight unscathed without a hefty repair bill. And we still have 50 laps left to go, as we have not gotten more than a couple green flag laps at a time. Now Steve Loving, Jeff Paisley, Oswald, Kinder, Shepard, Johnson, all in our top 6 have not pitted here today. Are they going to be able to make it to the end on fuel under these pacing conditions? Because as we saw with Stringfellow, you do not want to get involved in that mid-pack back kind of shenanigans, where you can find yourself with a hopelessly wrecked race car and a chance of a race win all but ruined, as we still have 50 laps left to go in tonight's feature event. Well, let's get ready to re-rack them, send them back out. Paisley, Loving, out front, the front row. Behind him, you've got Oswald and Kinder, then Shepard and Johnson. A lot of fast drivers making their way up front, but the green flag will fly. Steve Loving gets in front of Jeff Paisley to hold the momentum. And oh, Paisley sends him spinning around, gives him the old bump and run. And here we go again, a parking lot. No one able to get through this track more than one lap at a time. We're going to go back up front. We're going to watch Jeff Paisley gives a good hearty shove to number 27 machine, Steve Loving. And then this is where it goes from bad to worse. Drivers nowhere to go, just piling into each other. Look, they're still crashing at the back of the field. So it's a long night here in Martinsville, but everybody's doing their best to try and get through this together, as it is going to be a race of driver attrition. And what was scheduled to be a 45-minute feature race for these guys has become an endurance race around on an oval circuit. No driver swaps at their disposal, just white-knuckling for the first 1 or 2 laps at a time, trying to get through and survive. As Peyton Johnson, number 15 machine, has heavy damage to the front of his Chevrolet. 45 laps left to go. Jeff Paisley, Josh Oswald will be our front row. Garrett Kinder, Kai Shepard, have both moved up, as well as Peyton Johnson and Steve Loving will be our third row here tonight. We get ready to send them back out on track. Let's see what's going to happen. Is this going to be lap 83 once they cross the line for the restart? A large portion of your top 10 drivers have not pitted yet, thinking they may be able to make it to the end here under the yellow flag conditions, but the green flag is out. It's Paisley and Oswald going into turn one. They're already crashing. A huge incident on the start-finish line straight. We're watching Jason Warren, the number 32 machine. The field kind of gets stacked up, nowhere to go. People still hitting the accelerator despite being a car directly in front of them. And then look at that. It looked like Warren got hooked there from a car that got rear-ended. And then drivers just plowing through each other. I mean, I'm not quite sure what's expected to happen here. If there's a car in front of you, if no gap, no car, as the famous racer once said. I believe that's going to be Rockefeller getting another lap back, trying to get out of the lead lap. The number 09 machine having a rough night. He is down 18 spots from where he originally started. And just doing his best to get back on the lead lap, try and salvage some points out of tonight's event. Tonight's mayhem is probably a better way to describe it. The laps slowly dwindling by. We've got about 35 laps left in today's feature event. As it will once again be Paisley and Oswald up front, Kinder, Shappert the second row, Loving and Johnson our third row. Let's see what's going to happen here as the pace car comes in. I believe we've been forced to single file. And away they go. Josh Oswald looking at the inside of Jeff Paisley, trying to take over that lead. And he's going to get it here. Here comes Garrett Kinder as well, number 13, charging hard. We've officially got 35 laps left to go. It looks like Kinder's going to take over the second place spot over Jeff Paisley. You're on board with Kinder right now, trying to chase down Josh Oswald. Oswald gets a little bit too much inside curving there, able to collect himself, but Kinder charging hard, number 13. He's currently up 20 spots in his Ford Mustang. As it looks like that single file restart may have helped just a little bit, allowing these guys to get a couple of laps clicked off. Now, as a reminder again, the top 7 drivers have not pitted at all today. It's going to be very interesting to see if they can make it to the end on fuel. Especially if we do start to see a green flag run develop. Oswald, his last time by a 20.21 compared to Kinder with a 22.4 and Paisley at 20.18. So these guys starting to get in a bit of a groove here, a bit of a rhythm, and maybe try and put down some laps, but the rhythm will be ended as the caution comes out. See if we can find that incident for you. You're watching Michael Morrison. He showed as having to aggressively enter pit lane, so not quite sure where that was from. Not quite seeing it here yet. Not quite sure what happened on track that warranted the caution. But that will bring out the 13 caution of the night on lap 95. Oswald, Kinder, Paisley, Johnson, Shepard, Morrison still staying out on their original set of tires in their tank of gas. Now, something a little bit interesting, Steve Love, number 27 machine, who was previously paired with Johnson, did come into pit on lap 95, splashing up on fuel and taking some tires. But Oswald, Kinder, Paisley, Johnson, Shepard, and Morrison opting to stay out, willing to gamble a little bit. They've got about 25 laps left to go once we restart. Are they going to be able to make it on fuel? Or are we going to see the likes of Loving come back through the field with those fresh set of tires, knowing he has the fuel to make it till the end? So not sure if we're going back to double file restarts, if we're going to be sticking with single. Away we go with Oswald out front, Kinder second, Paisley third, Johnson fourth, Shepard fifth. 26 laps left to go here at Martinsville. And who's going to have enough fuel to make it all to the way to the end? As no one inside the top 6 has pitted so far here today. Decide to risk it on these short runs and able to fuel save as much as they possibly can. And the fuel saving will continue as the caution once again comes out. As let's see what happens. It's Isaac Wilson. He's involved in the number 93 machine. Just comes up in front of another race car driver. I believe it's going to be the 33, I believe, who's also involved, as well as the 32, excuse me, and Dakota Camper. No, that was the 33. That was Joshua Thompson involved. Isaac Wilson is kind of stuck in a bad spot. The number 55 machine of Charlie Gates Jr. does a great job completely checking up, allowing the crash car to get back in the right direction. We've got 23 laps left to go to decide tonight's winner. Should be about 21 laps left to go, maybe 20 for the restart here. I'd imagine they will once again be single file. Just not able to get more than a couple of laps of green flag runs before calamity ensues. We've seen a whole lot of crashed race cars here today. And with 21 laps left, still ample opportunity to completely destroy a few more. Peyton Johnson's a good example. Look at the number 15 machine. He's currently 4th on track, completely missing the front end of the number 15. But in a night like tonight, aero is not the most important factor. It has been a game of survival for all of these competitors. As we get ready for the iRacing pace car to make its way onto pit lane and send them out for the remaining 20 laps left here today. Oswald out front, Kinder 2nd, Paisley 3rd, Johnson 4th, Shepard 5th. 19 laps left remaining in tonight's grueling event, the Hall Sheet Metal 125. As we send them back out, what's going to happen here? and we can't. We don't even make it another lap before the caution comes out. It's going to be Dakota Camper, number 3 machine involved, just gets into the back of the 33. Unable to collect it himself, and then he gets helped along by the 32. And the caution will wave once more as Dakota pulls in front of the number 55 machine, trying to get away, but what a rough night for a whole lot of drivers. Now there is going to be one attempt of a green-white checker attempt tonight at Martinsville. With the 15 cautions we've had so far, there's a fairly good chance of a green-white checker attempt and then still finishing under caution. As it has been a night of impatience for several people out on track here today. We had 23 drivers start, 21 drivers still on the lead lap. It's going to once again be Oswald, Kinder, Paisley, Johnson, Shaffer, your top 5 here today. Morrison in 6. All of those drivers just mentioned have not pitted so far today. Willing and able to stretch it out on fuel, knowing that with how this race has been going and will continue to go, not too terribly worried about running out of fuel here today. Valuing track position over everything. It's always been about 10th place back. You see those big incidents here tonight. So your top 7 drivers willing to gamble just a little bit, top 6 drivers, excuse me, willing to gamble a little bit and keep it out there. Not wanting to have to come back through the field and risk their race cars, saying, you know what, we might not be able to battle for the lead up here, but we're going to score some much needed points. And we're going too wide, I believe. Not quite sure the reasoning from that, or maybe it's an automatic thing that iRacing does, but we're going to stack them back up double file to finish off the night with a bang. The pace car is in. It's going to be Oswald and Kinder, your front row. Paisley and Johnson, your second row, and then Shepard and Morrison, your third row. 13 laps left to go as they cross the line. Who's going to survive here at Martinsville? Oswald with a great start, throws a block on Kinder. Paisley, number 7 machine, he looks to the inside as well. Trying to get up, and then Kinder, he gets touched in the door panel. Johnson goes to the inside wall, and they're crashing again. Joshua Thompson, heavy hit. James Jones, carnage everywhere. They're still crashing. They're trying to crash up front as well. Joshua Thompson, James Jones, Michael Morrison, Jamie Dobbs, all involved here. Four wide at Martinsville, always a recipe for a great time as the field absolutely bends it on the backstretch. There's cars everywhere. It turns into a total parking lot. Some of the drivers still on the gas, just trying to muscle through their competition. As man, oh man, what a night it has been and continues to be. As we bring out our 16th caution with 11 laps left to go. They be wrecking here at Martinsville. We've seen plenty of big incidents, and the night just keeps continuing. We've got 10 laps left to go again. We do have green-white checker conditions here. And we're going to line them back up single file. As we are rapidly approaching green-white checker conditions, it'll once again be Oswald and Paisley out front. Shepard and Kinder, your second row. Johnson and Stringfellow, your third row. Good to see Stringfellow getting back up in the mix here in the 38. Despite having his fair share of incidents here today, at least being involved in some incidents. Should be 7 laps left to go once they cross the line for this restart. As we get ready for the iRacing pace car to make its way in, there it is. It's Oswald and Paisley out front. And just like that, already crashing. Paisley and Kinder getting into each other. The field's still wide open. What are we seeing from these drivers tonight? That one is going to be worthy of our super slow-mo of the night. So this is the restart. The very initial point, we're waiting for the green flag to drop. And then Kinder just kind of, that's a tough one to call. I'm not sure if Kinder came up the racetrack. We're going to back that up a little bit. I'm not sure if Kinder came up or if Paisley came down. I think there's a little bit of both. Two cars trying to occupy the same lane before the start-finish line. And then Paisley gets hooked violently into the wall, netcodes Kinder into orbit, and then spins right out into the start-finish line straight as the field is all stacked up. ARCA brakes once again full effect. Everybody's crashing, finding a dance partner. Man, what a night. So that's going to put Oswald and Johnson out front, Warren into third, Wernicke fourth, Redder into fifth. Just like that, the landscape has all changed as almost everyone in our top 7 has crashed out. Only Oswald and Johnson remain from that. Now look at this. Peyton Johnson able to make his way back up front with a ruined race car, the number 15, completely missing the front end. The back end is crinkled up like a year-old newspaper, but still running a top 2 car right now. Does he have anything for Oswald, or will he maybe just be happy to secure a second place spot as the pace car comes in behind them? More damaged race cars. All sorts of bodywork has been strewn across Martinsville. The green flag is out. This may be green-white checker conditions. They're double file once again. As Johnson drops to the inside, behind him you've got Warren and Wernicke. The caution comes out. And that may be the race here. So I know Stringfellow, number 38 machine, he's involved. And the checker flag will fly under yellow flag conditions here at Martinsville. As, the number 1 just hooks the number 91 machine. Stringfellow nowhere to go. And that will end our race under yellow flag conditions. So that's going to put Oswald, Johnson, and Warren, our top 3 survivors, on the podium. And still crashing. Man, oh man, what a night it was tonight here. As the drivers uneven to make a burnout. We're going to try and get our drivers up into the waiting room. Up first, we've got Josh Warren, the number 32 machine, able to survive here tonight. Josh, I mean, what was that from your point of view here today?
It was a very interesting race, very frustrating race for the most part. I had a lot of speed. I'm very good at these tracks, but a big shout out to Peyton and my boy Josh Oswald. He's always wanted one of these big hard cup races, and he finally got it tonight. I'm just thrilled to even come podium, and I'm so freaking happy for him. He's always been a phenomenal racer, but even better, he's a better friend, and I'm just thrilled he won tonight.
Well, nothing but camaraderie here. Very cool to see. Now, you came in on lap 84. Was that due to having to take a pit stop with damages, or were you trying to get ready for maybe a last run and just try and have some fresher tires on the number 32 machine?
No, I came in for tires, I think around 55 or 60, and I thought that'd be the race winning move, but there were so many cautions. I probably shouldn't even just pitted. I should just move my way up. I came in around 80 to just use my fast repair. But, there were so many cautions, not enough green flag laps to really make my way up the field. Just people basically wrecking themselves out is the only reason I came in third. I probably had a race winning car other than Clint Reese, and of course Oswald, but I screwed up in qualifying. I think I started 17th, 18th or something, and with so many cautions and stuff, it's really difficult to make your way up the field. But that takes nothing away from Oswald. He's a phenomenal racer, and um, that's about all I have to say about that.
I think that aptly sums it up, Jason. Did great out there in the 32 machine, man. Just able to survive till the end, even with a heavily damaged race car. Looking more like a Tour modified by the end than it actually was a Cup car. But great job as always, man. Good to have you up on the podium. Before I let you sign off and go celebrate with your friends, who would you like to give a shout out to here today?
Main shout out goes to Josh Oswald. Me and him have raced together on short tracks for a long time. Um, he's always wanted a big car win, as in like trucks, Xfinity, Cup car. He's won the super late models, Tour modifieds, SKs. Uh, I got a Cup championship, and I won the Cup Xfinity and Truck Series and stuff like that. But he never has, and I think it's absolutely freaking incredible that he got his first Cup win at Martinsville Speedway. So main shout out is him. Main shout out is to him. Big shout out to you for the broadcast. Big shout out to the guys who do this league, Brett Rederer, Matt Geis to the Rebels, and all the admins and stuff. William Griffin, Garrett Kinder. I think Garrett Kinder is dating Griff's sister, so that's always really cool and stuff. So that's about all I gotta say.
Well, awesome job, man. Hope to see you up here more often, and good job surviving tonight.
I appreciate it, brother, and I'll try to make a YouTube video of this race.
All right, I appreciate it as always. See you next time, Jason.
See you, bud.
All right, up next we've got Peyton Johnson in the number 15 machine. Peyton, that number 15 looks a little bit worse for wear than we normally see it out here at the late night series.
Yeah, I don't think I was the only one though. Holy cow, what a race!
We lost a lot of good men out there for sure, but you're able to survive till the end. At what point in the race tonight did you kind of think to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to need tires or fuel at this rate, just keep track position?
About 50 laps into it, I figured that there was no way that I was pitting just because of the sheer number of cautions. I bet you ran out of things to talk about up there, but it was fun. Glad to get a second place and glad to get a good points night. Not one of my best tracks. Excited to get back to the mile and a half, where I think I'm pretty okay at. And yeah.
Now, Peyton, did you have any plans? I know you said around lap 50 you kind of realized, hey, we're not going to need fuel. Track position's king. But did you have any plans for green flag runs on what it was going to take to get up front, or were you just kind of survival mode after seeing those first few early cautions?
Definitely in survival mode and just taking spots when I could get them. I got into the 7 had wrecked the 27 up there in front of me, and the 27 was stopped right in the middle. I had nowhere to go, and I hit him, and so I think I lost my front end and everything there. Car was really tight. Couldn't turn the center, but yeah, I mean, just a couple lucky breaks, dodged a couple misses. Hate that Kinder got taken out, but glad that I missed it.
Well, good job, and I know it's always a pleasure talking to the podium. I think tonight was a little bit different. Peyton, before I let you sign off and maybe I'd say go celebrate or maybe just have a beer and relax, who would you like to give a shout-out to tonight that helped you make that 15 machine so fast?
Well, first off, I want to thank you, man, for putting up with all the cautions, and I'm sure you did a great job. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Everybody who watches your channel, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to Hall Sheet Metal for sponsoring the league, Magic Mike Motorsports, Butt Kicker, and I got to thank Pay to Win Setups for allowing me to run their sets.
Well, always a great job, Peyton. Hope to see you out here more often as well, and maybe with a cleaner race car at the end of it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And then up next, we've got the man of the hour, Josh Oswald, put on the top spot of the box here today. Josh, how exhausted are you after that one?
Oh, very, very. Sweating bullets in here. Forgot to turn the AC on in this room.
Well, that is a rookie move, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even sure if I was going to race tonight, to tell you the truth. Decided, I really like Martinsville. Decided the last minute to actually race, and boy, am I glad I did.
Now, Josh, you've got one of the cleanest race cars that's being put in the holler today. Do you think you can attribute that to being able to stay out front and maybe not taking that pit stop, or was there a little bit of luck involved as well?
I really didn't want to put myself any further back in the field the way it was going. I mean, I heard some people on Discord and chat, that had gotten a pit stop and then just getting tangled up in the mess because a lot of people tend to not, brake correctly here. So it's much better to be out in front for you can really control your brake points more. And you're not having to brake so early for other people in front of you and avoid all the bottlenecks.
Now, you kind of hit that on the head. Do you think it's that accordion effect here in Martinsville that causes so much carnage? I mean, I know coming out of turn 2 and turn 4, it's easy to light up the rear tires. But is that what we're seeing here tonight? Was just guys with different skill sets and maybe different brake marks just not given the room? Or what do you think caused the cautions?
I mean, Martinsville is just a tough place. A lot of people tend to overdrive into the corner. I mean, I was lifting shortly after the start finish line and just letting it roll into the corner because a lot of people, it's way too easy to dive in. You don't know when the guy in front of you is going to brake, roll right up in him and create a caution. So I always, try to keep my best to keep no damage on the front end, no suspension damage, engine damage, just keep my front bumper as far away from the rear bumper of the guy in front of me as I can and still maintain speed. I just think a lot of people tend to charge the corner of Martinsville, and it's something you can't do if you want to stay out of trouble and be up front.
Well, you were able to do both tonight. Stay out of trouble, stay up front. You looked very, very fast and consistent on the number 17. I know it was you and a couple other drivers got cycled in and out for that top row for the restarts, but at least you got plenty of restart practice here today, Josh. But before I let you sign off and go celebrate, maybe unwind for the day, who would you like to give a shout out to that's supporting you behind the scenes? Friends, family, sponsors? The floor is yours, my friend.
First, I'll take care of the series sponsors: Hall Sheet Metal, Magic Mike Motorsports. Love Magic Mike to death; he's the man. Arcadia Motorsports, Meal Race Design, Butt Kicker, and thank you for broadcasting. The other admins that helped run this, I'd like to thank Garrett Kinder for racing me really clean. I hate that he got tore up by some nonsense there at the end. He deserved a much better finish than that. And just teammate Jason Warren for racing with me tonight at Martinsville. Finally got one on you, buddy. Great guy. If I can pull off in front of him at a short track, that's great for me. And as far as sponsors, I'd just like to thank Big Frig Coolers and my friends and family that watch broadcasts. Appreciate it.
Well, great job out there, Josh. Hope to see you up here more often, my friend. Great job tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
And that, my friends, is going to do it here for the Late Night Rebels Martinsville, the Hall Sheet Metal 125. It was quite the exciting night. Not many drivers got through unscathed with a clean race car, but Josh Oswald, number 17 machine, able to put it on the top spot here tonight, and well done to him. On behalf of the original Rebel Racing League, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East, wishing you a nice evening, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a great night, everyone.